Hey y'all. Alright, so this is going to be part two to a series being created about me questioning my spirituality. Um, I think it's very important to do. I think it's important to look at the realities that you personally have, and when these questions knock on the door for whatever reason, why not investigate? It's a To me, it's a mature thing that you do when you're ready. Um, what am I to say? It can happen when unexpected. Um, this part's going to be about the Mandela effect. This, to me, oh yeah, so I said in part one that I'm going to discuss what does ground me into spirituality compared to what I did say in part one about does it really exist? Is it just imagination? Is it just a level of imagination that gives us such peace and gives us such delusional power and what have you? I know I sound pretty negative to some. I just want to be frank. I just want to be honest. And so this part here, I remember when this occurred, and I think it occurred around 2013, 2014. I'm not positive. Some of you know about it, and there might be some out there that do not know about the Mandela effect. Um, so let's see. I'm going to make it relatively brief. This is an honest question. It's not a test. I'm going to test you on the Mandela effect. Try to just give an honest answer, and it's based on your own memory. It's not based on what others say. It's not based on data on the internet. It's just based on your personal memory. And I'm going to tell you something on this one. 10 for 10 people disagree with what has happened. Okay. Okay. Are you ready? So I'm going to show you a picture. This is for especially those who have never done this test. And I'm not joking. It's a worldwide phenomenon, especially here in the States. Double check. I don't want to give away anything. Okay, do you remember this Bear family? Honestly, do you remember them? Now, the question is, how do you pronounce its name? Silly question, right? Just be honest, please. How do you remember the name? When I grew up, I remember it was Bernstein, and I remember like making a joke because we had I was a young kid. I used to see them in the doctor's office all the time. I'd read them, and we there was a mom and pop store run by a Jewish family, and the name of the store was called Goldstein's. And I used to say, "Hey, look, it's the it's a Jewish bear family." You know, I'm guessing I'm like 8, 10, something like that. But I remember doing that. If you said what I said, that's what everyone says. I'd say 99 out of 100 people. I'm not exaggerating. If you did this test to some people, they're going to say exactly what you did and exactly what I did. Okay, I knew them as the Bernsteins. Some pronounce them as the Bernsteins. This is what it is and always has been. I'm going to show you. And it's very hard to believe. You can't see it, it's backwards. It's called the Bernstein Bears. The Bernstein Bears. The Bernstein Bears. Again, it's backwards. Sorry, I don't know how to do the other thing. Bernstein Bears. There are some extensive videos on YouTube of people reacting to this and going, what the and just saying, this is mind-boggling. Because we, and Gen Xers, we remember growing up and reading them. And we all remember Steam. And I was so blown away. I was like, I'm going to go on eBay and I'm going to grab an actual copy and I'm going to actually look at it for myself. And there it is. Before you shrug it off, which some may, understand something, that we're talking about what you actually know versus what now is. It sounds pretty delusional, but I'm honestly telling you, majority of people, I mean a large majority, understand it as Bernstein. Even the parents who had children growing up with it, it was Bernstein. There's people that I've talked to, and I've talked to a lot of people about this when it happened. I was very into it. And everyone said Bernstein, from adults to kids, not kids, but adults to people my age, maybe a little younger. They all knew it as Bernstein. There's no record of Bernstein in any of their books. In any of their books. Since the very first book, it's now Bernstein. It's a real reality fuck. It's amazing to contemplate, because we know what we saw. We know what we experienced. And there's some magnificent videos out there about this very one that I welcome you to go look at, because it will give you other perspectives instead of my schizophrenic ass. It will give you other viewpoints into this. And I have a feeling there's people who are listening who understand it and feel the same way I do. And I would love for you to say something in the comments, or see if you are going through the same confusion. Now, there were a lot of Mandela effects going on, and it was a lot of clickbait, and people were making money off it. So people would say, oh, there's a Mandela effect of this and that and this and that. But from my perspective, because I took it pretty serious, I only agreed to the Mandela effects that I had 100% certainty on. And we know what it feels like to be certain about something. Even if you're being fooled or not, being deceived or not, we still know what it feels like to be like 100% certain about something. And there's two. Bernstein Bears, absolutely. You can't change my mind about that. You can't tell me it was always Bernstein. We'd be making jokes as kids, man. Oh, the bears with stains. It would be all over. The other one was Chick-fil-A. Now, I come from Massachusetts. We never had a Chick-fil-A. But when I came up here, when I came down here to Florida, Chick-fil-A was, a regular chain. And I remember seeing it for the very first time. And I remember seeing, I go, that's a strange way to spell Chick-fil-A. Because the beginning, it was CHIC dash FIL dash A. And I go, chick? I mean, that kind of sounds like, I thought it was just kind of odd. Why did I think it was odd? I think it reminded me of like, a chick, like a girl, or something like that. Chick-fil-A. And the way it was spelled. Or maybe I remember, I related it to a clothing line from the 80s, chic, chic, or whatever it may be. I thought it was odd, especially when it comes to chicken. So, this is how it's been spelled all along. Here's another one. Bernstein bears a Chick-fil-A. It's with a K. CK. That's a common one, believe it or not. It's not as common as Bernstein, but it really fucked with me. Still does. Because I remember clearly having that reaction when I first saw it. And when I saw videos on YouTube of people talking about the same thing, it's pretty amazing. Now, one thing about the Mandela effect, which again is very fascinating, is people. This was a huge thing in the teens in like 2014, 2015, maybe 2016. I don't know exactly, but it was pretty big, a very big topic, and people were researching like nuts, like I was. What I'm trying to say was it was a legit perplexity of reality. People were coming up with answers of what's going on in very odd ways. I say odd just because different. Some say we're in an altered reality, and people are so convinced that this is not the truth, right? Baron, I know it's backwards, Stain, that they said the only answer they could think of is that we're in an alternate, we switched timelines. I don't believe that, personally. I just don't. But it's like people who believe in time travel. I just don't go there. I'm not that far where I think that's possible. But getting back on subject on it is, just to show you the authors. The Bernstein. See? Stan and Jan Bernstein. There's a thing called residue. When people were researching, they'd find old TV guides that's actually printed, and it'd say Bernstein. Brenstein. Back then. They'd find little residues of it that are in obscure places. A TV guide miswriting the thing. You got, in that same time, you had people on eBay. Their titles for their listings of the books would be Bernstein. And why would people make that mistake? If it's very blatant, like stain is kind of a strong word. It just is. It's hard to um, say Steen instead. Bernstein. We read them as kids, man. So I was convinced, and it's still on the table. I don't throw anything away right now. I'm just examining things. But to me, I've concluded that it's from God, the Creator, and He's kind of knocking on the door. He's making these alterations just to show a miracle, to show some kind of existence. Um, I don't know, but I do know that that's not right, and it's very hard to shake. Of course, people try to just debunk it. Some of them, like, oh, let me look it up on Google. Bernstein, da da da. They came from this blah 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 blah. Yeah, it's always been Bernstein. That's the Mandela effect. It's like changed everything. The history. There's another one, and I'm not 100% sure on this, so I don't claim it as true for me. But I do say it's like something to be skeptical about, which was the JFK shooting. Now I'll ask you this question, and just use your memory and use your honest memory. It's not a test. You don't have to be right or wrong. What do you remember? What do you think is true when I say how many people were in the car? There's 6. I had no clue there were 6 people in the car. When you go look at the assassination again, it's like, damn, I didn't know that. It's not 100% certain for me, and I'd say, well, maybe they were just ignored because the focus was always on, the drivers, and of course, the Kennedys. We never looked at the middle, the 2 people there. But I've seen that assassination over and over throughout the years, and it really stuck out, and it stuck out for a lot of people. Again, pretty amazing videos on that. So in conclusion, when it comes to questioning the spiritual aspect of things, this one's still there for me, and it kind of keeps me grounded in the spiritual aspect of life. Where in my earlier video, when I did yesterday, I'm like, is it really even there? Is it just imagination? Well, is this just delusion? To so many people, mass delusion. I could see an individual delusion saying, oh my God, it's Stain. It's supposed to be Steen, and everyone else says, well, I don't know. I remember it's Stain. Oh, I'm telling you, it's 10 for 10. People remember Steen. People remember Steen. Stein. What do you remember? Cool. I'll end up right here. I'd love to hear your feedback. I'd love to hear what you have to say, what you've been through with the Mandela effect, and any such comments. What you actually think the Mandela effect is. Just know how vast it is. Like, many people have seen and are witnessing this. It's not just the few. So, yeah, tell me what you think. And if you said Steen, you're one of the many, many, many who see the same alteration. And it's unexplainable. And when people do come to explanations, they say it's an altered timeline. They say that we're in a matrix aspect. And when you're living in a reality that's just AI or something like that, and people changed it, whoever. And the closest I got is that it's God. What do I know? I don't. But that's what can make the most sense to me. Another thing that made sense to me that it was God was that it's the Bernstein bears, because they're a very Christian bear family. And for one of the most popular, if not the most popular, Mandela effect is the Bernstein bears. The attention gets put on that family and that bear family and the Christian values. Look, I'm just trying to make sense out of it. I'm just trying to make sense out of it. Tell me what you guys think, honestly. And to those who don't believe in God, which I'm questioning, it's okay. What do you think? What do you really think deep down? It's just a mass misunderstanding. Thanks for listening. I'll talk to you hopefully tomorrow. We'll go with what, part 2, or part 3 rather. Not sure what topic yet, but there's a couple. All right.